this is centuries of ancestors that accumulated to make you, all of their best, most strongest features to make you, and you are unique and you're special, and there's nobody who looks exactly like you. They care about the number, they don't really care about you. In my perspective, is from a man's ideal, big butt, big boobs, the plus size now.
It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm 5'4.5".
Okay.
My size fluctuates, but on the top, I'm like a 3X, 4X. So, and then on the bottom, I'm like 4X, 5X. And I can range from like size 22, 24, sometimes a 26. Like, it really, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. The price difference, you just have to pay more for clothes that are the same as standard size, and sometimes they're made for like a slim thick version of plus size. It still isn't gonna fit me. It's still gonna be tight in some areas, too big in some areas. You know, when I go shopping, sometimes I'm just like, did I get bigger, or like, but it's really just the sizing models that they use are just inaccurate to actual real plus size women, and they're only tailoring their clothes to fit an ideal plus size woman.
Wow. That what you just said right there, the ideal plus size woman. Like, what is that? What's that supposed to look like? Why is there an ideal of anything?
For real. It's really sad, and it's honestly really heartbreaking because there's just so many young people who love fashion and would love to express themselves, and they want to be catered to as well, but they're just not. They just really aren't. So then shopping just becomes something really stressful and unmanageable, so people will just be left with boxy clothes. I've just met people who they just want to be invisible because of how they just don't feel confident in the clothes that they wear, because there's just not clothes that make them feel comfortable. I've had a lot of trial and error. I'm lucky to have people who can tailor clothes to fit me if I want to have a dress or something. If it doesn't fit right, then I can tailor it for me, but not everybody has a personal tailor.
Right. Or the money to get a personal tailor. Like, it's so ridiculously expensive. Why do you have to have clothes that are custom made for you whenever you have a body just like so many other people out there?
Yeah, even places like Torrid, insanely expensive, and then their clothes will just be honestly still low quality, like $100 for a pair of pants, or like $20 for a pair of underwear that I've literally got Torrid underwear that have ripped within the month that I've got them. Just so many issues, like with things folding down, falling off, just not wanting to shape to me, because again, the clothes are not made for me. They're made for that slim, thick, ideal body. You know, maybe double D, like a bigger butt, but like, you know, it's always very much a specific ideal body.
Right.
Like mannequins that you see is basically like a typical mannequin, but they make the fat just where it would be idealized. In my perspective, is from a man's ideal, like big butt, big boobs, the plus size now.
Right. I was called fat growing up, and I wasn't even close to shopping in plus size. The fact that growing up, per se, in the early thousands, everything was catered to completely straight. You have nothing at all. If you have a little bit of a butt or a little bit of a stomach, you're fat. And
you just have to not look like that ideal standard.
Right.
So, like, fat, and you might just, I don't know, extra skin, like Samoan and just big body, you know? Like, you don't have to be fat, you just have to be different than, like, the ideal. You have to be different than the standard celebrity, influencer, model package, you know, like perfect body, perfect person. You don't look like those people, then you're fat.
Right.
I feel like just use fat as like a word to throw out there to like make people hate themselves.
Right. I love when people are starting to embrace the word fat. they're like, okay, I have fat, so like I'm gonna rock that and run with it. Who cares if I'm fat?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Fat is beautiful, and like the word fat has been demonized. A lot of words that we have today that have been demonized. I remember I was like a little girl in elementary school, and I'm kind of sad. I'm like, I think I'm fat. My friend's like, you're not fat. You can see your feet, right? Not fat. Just to make me feel better and tell me I'm not fat. But then realizing later that I am fat. But like, why does it make me so, like, why do they have to like, help me not see myself as fat?
Right.
It's because it's not seen for the actual definition. It's just seen for like some disease, some bad trait about yourself. Something I would tell someone struggling with the way that they look. Always think that anybody's traits is a direct blueprint copy of your ancestors, of your lineage. I feel like when someone says, oh, I don't like my nose, I don't like my eyes, I don't like this body hair, that this is centuries of ancestors that accumulated to make you. It took all of their best, most strongest features to make you, and you are unique and you're special, and there's nobody who looks exactly like you. And you're supposed to look that way. That's how God made you. That's what I would say to them. It's like, some people don't really look at their ancestors and think, oh, I respect them, I love them. But you can go back farther, and sometimes your ancestors from 4, 5, 6 generations gave you this hair, this nose. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really beautiful. Learning to accept it and to love it. And then you just have to actually be able to look at yourself and be like, actually, I love my difference. So at least I don't look like this carbon copy of everybody else. I love being unique. I love being myself. Sometimes we have to tell ourselves those things on, and it's like, actually, I think you are beautiful. You start to see yourself in the mirror differently.
Right.
I used to think when I was a little girl. I used to be like, oh, well, at least I'm like pretty funny and I'm like special, and I would like see other parts of myself that I really liked, but then I couldn't really see myself as beautiful until I like really got older, like past high school, and did a lot of work on myself to be able to look at myself in the mirror and really own that I am beautiful.
I love that you have realized that you are beautiful no matter what you look like, no matter what size you are. That's really a huge testimony of just like growing up feeling ugly and then getting over that threshold of being like, you know what, I'm just gonna own this and I am beautiful and I'm gonna flaunt that no matter what anybody says. I love that so much.
Really crazy how you really can change your own mind by being that influence in yourself.
Yes.
Like, you just saw my worst feature became amplified when I was at my lowest of perceiving myself. But then later in life, the more that I kept bringing myself up, being proud of myself, reaffirming and using my affirmation, and that's when I just started to see, oh, I have really beautiful lips, and I have a beautiful nose, and I have beautiful eyes, and I love my hair, and like I see my ancestral roots. I see that Puerto Rican side, that native side, the Irish side, and it's really made me fall in love with myself.
I love that so much. Wow.
The companies that misrepresent plus-size people. Honestly, when you're talking to a company, the bottom line of what they care about is money. And I'm a problem solver, so I would probably be looking at a majority of people you're not catering to, and you're missing out on millions and millions of dollars. Maybe billions of dollars, because there are so many people who are not being catered to and who are not shopping, who are not buying your products, because you don't care about them and you don't see them as assets or as them. So I guess you just don't want their money then, huh? Because that's how you get their corporate mind. It's like they care about the number. They don't really care about you. If they realize that they're just completely wiping out an entire category of people, like all types of different body types, but like just so many different body types too, that they could a section for and to grow upon, that they're just completely ignoring. That's really what I would focus on, to diversify, their agenda and their mission, because that's how you're going to be able to reel in the consumers, right? Is by catering everybody.
Right. That's a powerful statement right there. That's
I think that's just bullshit, plain and simple. I think people who say that have no real understanding of what obesity really is for a lot of people. They try to generalize as one thing. Maybe in their head, they just picture someone drinking a Coca-Cola and a Big Mac for every meal of the day, 5 times a day. That is not what obesity is. So many different things, so many different health conditions, genetics. It really is, it's the food that we eat. And maybe some people can eat whatever they want and always stay a certain weight as long as they work it all out, stick to 2 almond diets or something, or some people they don't and their bodies are fine. But for people like me, if I don't pay attention to every single thing that I eat, it'll just stay on my body. My body won't be able to process it. There's plenty of people who work out all the time and eat really well and they're still fat because the body is way complicated than any of these fat phobic haters even understand. And they really don't even care what could be going on in somebody's life. All they really care about is that you hate yourself. I don't know why. Maybe they hate themselves or they just think people shouldn't glamorize obesity. I don't know why they're focusing on that. Like, it just, get a life. Like, why do you care so much? I was in middle school. There was this big fat guy who called me fat all the time. And I was just like, you're stupid and you're fat. You're so stupid because you don't realize you're fat and you're hating on fat people. So like, I honestly don't even pay any mind to those people because they just don't really make sense to me. I can't help but think that there's something wrong with them psychologically. But if we're not hurting anybody, it really isn't something they should be able to speak on. You know, but they will, and we just gotta keep doing us. Not everybody's opinion is valid. There's always gonna be that noise, but it's our job to be louder. So everybody else, all those children in the back, they can hear us and they can follow that voice instead of following the voice of hate. Oh, I was really excited. It's like a dream of mine to be as influencer. You know, we had Lizzo, and she has issues, and I'm not trying to have this just happen. Iconic leader. There's so many out there, and one of them. And I really feel like you saw me, and I really liked that. I really appreciated that. And I think there should be more people who are focusing on our community, being the ones who create and construct an empire for the plus size community to really fully be represented.
like people don't see plus size mannequins that look like them.
And honestly, we just have grown to just accept it, accept what the normal is. But I'm glad that you're not accepting it. I'm glad that you are really sticking up for the plus size community because people just be like, it is what it is. But how do you move from that? We have to change one step at a time, one person at a time, in a bigger community. And that's really what I feel like I've seen within growing up in this time frame of if you want to see change, then you have to be a part of it because you're really doing it for us, and we have to be grateful. Because not everybody's gonna actually put energy and the time into making a project like this.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you, you too. Bye.